A lot of money is headed from the state of Ohio right here to Lucas County.
So what does this mean for the future of the Lucas County Jail and for incarceration in Ohio? We're breaking it all down in our big story today.
A project 10 years in the making, expected to break ground this year in Lucas County.
Leaders are looking to build a new jail to replace the one that opened in 1977. 13 ABC's Josh Croup is live this afternoon with the funding announced today to help with that project. Josh?
Yeah, Tina, Tony, good afternoon. We're live here at the Corrections Center of Northwest Ohio. It's among one of 11 jails throughout Ohio that are getting a lot of money to support renovations and upgrades. Announced today during a visit by Governor Mike DeWine. He toured the facility here and told CCNO staff that they will get $4.6 million to support some of the upgrades here. But you mentioned it, the big ticket item on the list of awardees today, the Lucas County Jail, getting $10 million to help support funding for a brand new jail, a project that has been in the making for the last 10 years, one that Sheriff Mike Navarre says is necessary.
We're getting close to reality. This is something that we've been talking about for a long time. The jail itself is just not conducive to modern inmate management practices.
Now, with this money, Navarre says they expect to break ground later this year now. They expect to open that new jail by September 2026, guys.
All right, Josh, the big question, do leaders have a location picked out for this new jail here in Lucas County?
Yeah, and if you followed this story for a while, you know that there have been a lot of different locations that have been eyed for this, including most recently the health department in downtown Toledo. The goal is to keep it in downtown. Leaders didn't have an official location to announce yet today, but we previously reported that they're studying the possibility of putting that at the facilities department. Commissioner Pete Gerken told me today, Tina, that they're in the process of finalizing that study, and they could have an announcement on a new location here within the next month.
All right, Josh, thanks so much. We appreciate it. So what does incarceration look like across Ohio? The latest available information about Ohio's jails and prisons is from the National Institute of Corrections. It dates back to 2020. That data supplied by the Bureau of Justice and the FBI, so it's generally a year or two behind. Ohio has 108 jails in total, and in 2020, the jail population topped 20,000 people. That's compared with the 28 state prisons, which held a little more than 45,000 inmates in the year 2020.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration recently released new policy guidance that could help people being released from jail get access to treatment that can help with the transition back into their communities. And under the new guidance, state Medicaid programs will be allowed to cover a package of pre-release services starting 90 days before someone who is expected to get released. Those services include substance abuse treatment, mental health services, and other treatments for other chronic health conditions. The Department of Justice says 44% of people who were incarcerated overall had a history of mental illness. The National Institute on Drug Abuse estimates the rate of substance use disorders among those who are incarcerated may be as high as 65%.
Right here in Ohio, those who have Medicare stay enrolled while in prison, and inmates can also enroll while they're incarcerated. However, Medicaid cannot pay for medical services while someone is in prison unless they are transferred to a hospital. While prison facilities are required to provide medical care to residents, it usually comes at a cost. Inmates generally still pay a copay for any treatment they may receive. A federal survey shows that about 20% of those in prison go without care for persistent medical conditions.
One hope with making access to medical treatment easier for those exiting the prison system is to reduce the rate of recidivism. That is the rate at which individuals released from prison enter back into the system. According to the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, the 3-year recidivism rate in 2020 was 32.7%. The national average is 49%. Experts say programs that connect former inmates to resources that help them adjust to life outside prison can help reduce the rate of recidivism.
Meanwhile, Michiganders are asking state lawmakers to take a second look at the state's current criminal sentencing laws. Advocates, including those who served decades behind bars, rallied at the Capitol this week. They say that current sentencing guidelines are too harsh. Reform would include resentencing criminals after a certain amount of time served in prison. However, one Michigan lawmaker says sentencing reform could have dangerous consequences.
Criminal sexual conduct, that's rape or attempted rape, murder, attempted murder, armed robbery. These are individuals who have committed heinous crimes And I would also like to mention that it's going to absolutely blow up the Michigan justice system.
To incarcerate somebody without having a chance at redemption is really incarceration by death. And so we really need to be supportive of people getting a second chance.
This proposal in Michigan aims to allow those who have been in prison for at least 10 years to request a sentencing review.
You can watch the full big story on our 13 ABC News app. Remember, that's available as a free download in your app store.